All right, welcome to Linn Valley Radio. This is part 2. Getting into this next segment now. As we discussed at break, Jed and I, we don't want to make this feel like it's just all negativity. So we like to go on a rant about great things about Linn Valley and where, people could make better decisions and save themselves money for, buying a lot out here. So my guest is Jed Wolf. He's here on the show with us. He's a real estate guru, so he understands property values. He understands kind of how everything should work, where pitfalls could be, and where better decisions could be made. But what we want to jump into is we want to talk about positive experiences with Linn Valley, regardless if it's the POA, the city of Linn Valley, or just Linn Valley itself, and things that make sense. So what I'd like to jump on, and I've used this as a selling point for people to come out and buy a spot here. I mean, why on earth, if you had an RV, and I know they have facilities where usually you can get like a storage place, and they'll let you park your RV there for $90 or $100 a month, and then it just stays basically locked up in a fence, and you pay that what I would consider a lot of money when you can actually come out here and buy a camping lot, and park your RV and use it as storage, or use it to come out here and relax and store it. I mean, it would make a ton of sense to buy a lot here if you were going to use it as the ability to put, maybe some of your toys, or put a little shop on, or a carport, and use it for storage purposes, or storage and pleasure. It makes perfect sense to buy a lot.
Sure it does. Absolutely it does. And I want to say a couple things about some of the folks that have been helpful for me out here. For example, Joe, the building inspector.
I love that guy.
He is
absolutely perfect role model employee.
Absolutely. He'll bend over backwards to help you get something done, and I appreciate that. He's been very helpful to me. And also, I got to say, the folks go over the POA, if I go over there to get some information on some of the lots, the dimension size or whatever, Margene and all those folks over there have been very forthcoming and helping me out to get what I need. And I really appreciate the support that I've received from them. Now, I don't know of any other issues that some other people might have, but I really appreciate those people out there, and they're the kind of people that we need to have to help us go forward.
Right, and that's definitely something that has to happen. Going forward is a must, I think, for the longevity of this community. There's definitely we're at a tipping point where it could go really bad or it could go really good.
Sure.
But, speaking of positive things, I mean, where else can you go, around here where you can ride, those vehicles on the road, even though they're regulated with some rules that I don't agree with. It still is nice that, if I want to go with my son and say, hey, get on your dirt bike, I'm going to get on my quad, and we're going to go ride around the lake. Now,
Sure.
Maybe I'm bothering some people with, the machines being loud, but that's a pretty good bonding experience, and my son absolutely loves it.
Sure.
He loves, hey, Dad, can we go for a ride? And he gets on his bike, kick-starts it. I get on mine, and we go for a cruise. We don't go terrorizing. We just cruise it like it's,
Sure.
the cruise.
Sure.
So it's also nice, being able to go jump on trails and go, have a good time. I got my wife a quad for her birthday. She has never owned a four-wheeler, and it's really brought her to kind of the other side of the fence, where she's always been an observer watching people ride. Now she's a rider.
Sure.
She gets to experience it, and she absolutely loves it.
That's a positive. That's absolutely a positive. And you said nowhere else in Kansas. I
can't say nowhere else, but I'm just saying remotely for next to a big city that's about 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
It's a pretty awesome thing to have, is to be able to do that is a total privilege. Kudos to Linn Valley for not taking that away. I hope they don't. I know there's been some people that want to take away those privileges, but let's keep in mind, it's what again? It is a recreational community. Live where you play. It should always stay here. That's a vital element to keeping this place going that direction. But awesome to do that. Another thing that's awesome, because this place is a private gated community, you don't need a fishing license.
Yeah.
You can come in here as a property owner or a guest of a property owner and fish without being harassed.
That's fantastic.
By, the warden coming up, you got your license?
Yeah.
Or having to go to Walmart and pay $25 to
Sure.
get one, or whatever the going
Sure.
rate. I know last time I had to buy one, I think it was $25. But you don't have to worry about that.
No.
You can come in here and just say, hey, you know what? I want to be a property owner, so I can, go in there and fish, and enjoy that. I know they put, fish in there. They keep them stocked, and they work in those areas to keep it going well.
Yeah.
So kudos, Linn Valley.
Yeah.
Awesome that you put, efforts into the lakes.
Absolutely.
Doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you.
And I'll say one other thing, is that just to piggyback on what you're saying is that I don't know anywhere, there may be some places, anywhere, not just in Kansas, but anywhere in the United States, that you can go in, plop down $1,000, own a lot. You don't have to build a house on it. You're not required to do anything immediately and any more investment by just virtue of doing that, okay, and paying a $30 a month fee. You have access to 2 swimming pools, 8 lakes, fishing lakes and boating lakes, golf course, riding trails, and all these wooded areas out here where you can go out and build you a campfire and have a cookout, or you got the RV lots over here for $10 a night. You can put your RV in there. You got all the hookups. This is a very, very big plus for people to come out here and visit.
Right.
But and again, I say, and I don't know how that's looked, but the more people that we get out here that are dues-paying people, the more money we have to improve and upgrade our facilities.
Yeah.
And I think that's a benefit for everybody.
Right. Well, and saying upgrading facilities, I think that's one area that we definitely need to do some refocusing. I mean, as modern time changes, I mean, look at all these pools, if you will, in all these little towns, or it doesn't matter if it's Olathe, Lewisburg, even if you go out here to Lacine, their little community pool is better than what we have. And I understand our pool was built many, many years ago, but there's a certain standard that folks have.
Yeah.
If they just come here on the weekends, guess what? Their community pool is way better than what we have
Sure.
at the lake. So I would like to see an improvement there, and I understand pools are expensive, and that may be, $1 million remodel to do an awesome pool, but the longevity, look at that over 30 years. At the money that it secures, or if people are thinking about letting their lot go, but if they get to come here and enjoy the lake and an awesome pool, I mean, you're talking, it would pay for itself, in my opinion, over a big span, that it would be worth it. Now, I don't know, Linn Valley or the POA situation when it comes to, do they have $1 million in the bank to do that, or could they take out a loan where it was paid over, this many years in order to do something like that? Or, I mean, even look at the parks. I mean, the competitiveness that has came about with cities, they're spending big money when it comes to pools and parks. And I can't say that Linn Valley does that, or it's been an area of focus. I know that they think the golf course is a huge piece, but that shows to be in the red. But, who am I to totally judge everything? I'm a family man with kids, and I obviously want family things brought to me with those intentions in mind. And I think everybody's looking at their own intentions, but how can we do that? I mean, what does that look like?
I could make a suggestion, and that would be what we would probably want to envision would be a comprehensive improvement and development plan that is a step-by-step roadmap of how we get this development upgraded to the standards that we can be competitive in this particular area. And it takes different expertise of different people to all come together, do an analysis, and write a plan, a step-by-step plan. Like, for example, if we want to do a sewage system, let's do it in such a way that it works. And I think there's the people out here, the expertise in this community that can do that and are willing to do that.
Well, and I think, I think there's a part that they want to do that, but they look at the financials. Well, the financials show unstable, to be unstable. And when you have churn, and to explain what churn is, folks, that means somebody came in here, they bought a lot, either off the $80 lot list, or they, secured one and they didn't last, with
turnover rate.
Yeah, turnover rate, exactly. So you have to keep the turnover rate really low, and if we can keep it low, then when those things go to the auction block, they sell for much higher than $80 because people want to do it for $500 is a good deal. Right now,
Yeah.
You know, you can buy them for $5 if you go there, and if they don't sell, then you have to pay the 80. But you know, we have to think always, you know, what does that look like, and what will it bring? But you know, the financials, they have to make things that are going to show growth.
Yeah.
You know, but when people get a raise on their dues and they don't see a raise in
Services.
or offerings, then you know, you start to get people aggravated.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, you have to make modifications, and you can't keep everybody happy, but you have to look at your model. Your model is families right now, young folks coming out here. I know the camping lots have been big sellers this year, and if that's the case, then you know, you run with it. The POA, they don't have anybody in marketing.
No, they don't.
Nothing. Nobody out there.
They do
trying to
have a
bring
real
people in.
good real estate broker. This Greg, I understand. I've not met the man, but I understand he's very good at what he does, and so I know that he's doing a good job out here.
Right. Well, and that, I guess you're looking at it from the real estate side, housing side. I'm looking at marketing as in, hey, look at this private gated community.
Sure.
Look at what they offer, and market to, you know, let's say a 100-mile. Well, I don't know what a fair radius is, but I would think 100 miles, people could have no problem driving 100 miles to
That's true.
enjoy the weekend. So, you know, does the POA need a marketing person? Absolutely. And to have one is mind-boggling how you don't. And I work in marketing and advertising, so I think like that. And to see, you know, the meetings where they're like, oh, well, the golf course needs help, and I raised my hand and said, well, what's your marketing budget?
Sure.
And they look at me like,
Duh.
What? This marketing budget is $0. Are you serious? You want to market, or you want to bring people to the golf course because it's showing in the red?
Yeah.
But you want to spend no dollars to bring in golfers.
Yeah.
That has to happen. You have to have a budget, folks. There always has to be a budget for marketing and advertising, which is promoting new business development. And when you continue to neglect those lines, guess what? At some point, all of a sudden, people are in trouble. Financial trouble's coming. People start overreacting. People lose their jobs. Everybody's scrambling. So, you know, you have to make good decisions in that area. So, you know, you have to ask yourself, in order for this community to really reach that other side, what has to happen? Well, we know for sure marketing and advertising has to happen, because your word of mouth is limited based on your customer's experience, and the customers are the property owners. So, you know, if I'm having a bad experience here with the way that the people are acting, which right now I am, and law enforcement, guess what? Do you think that I'm going to go tell people they should come out here? No. And right now, I think a lot of people feel that way. So, you know, we need to come together as a community and make, I guess, progressive movements together, where, you know, maybe, you know, with my skills as a, you know, a marketing professional, I can totally help this community get where they want to go.
Sure.
But do I want to help, you know, when I feel like a bunch of them are coming at me, and all I've done was, you know, take up for my rights, that, you know, and I was being harassed, and I went through all the proper motions to, you know, do things, and, you know, all I'm getting is pushback. And yeah, I'm getting some support from some other side, but, you know, those are things that we have to really take serious.
Well, you might ask, somebody might ask, well, what's a market person going to do? Well, I can make some good suggestions of that. I mean, there are RV travel shows. There are different kinds of things put on at different areas. Like in Wichita, they got the survivalist shows, and they've got where people and camper shows where we could get a booth or get a table there for $50 and just pass out information to people coming in that they can have a lot out here, they can go camping out here and go fishing out here. Because I will guarantee you, if you were to go today down to the plaza in Kansas City and with a microphone and ask people, what do you think about Linn Valley? They're going to say, what?
Well,
never heard of Linn Valley.
Well, let me tell you a story. You know, and I've talked to, you know, I lived in Johnson County for a long time. But anytime that I've ever brought this place up, they're like, what? Say the name again? What? Like, they're like, where? They didn't even know this place existed. I mean, literally, you could have a person that all they did was, and I'll just explain it very simply. If you had a person with a banner and they just went into corporations, let's say like Sprint, Garmin, and they allow businesses to come in there and set up a table. You're not allowed to go out and actually physically engage the employees, but you could just sit there at a table with a banner, live where you play, private gated community, and had brochures, and employees will naturally just come up. You can put a box of cookies over there to the right.
Sure.
And they'll come up and get a cookie from you and take a brochure and look at it. And if you can say, hey, lots start at for camping, if you're interested in getting an RV, or maybe you just want a tent and ride the trails, lots start at $1,000. This place would be sold out. I guarantee you within a year, you'd have tons of lots sold.
And I tell
just by that simple method, you could pay somebody probably $30,000 a year to go to just businesses. All they do is go to the office, call, and they go set up luncheons where they go get cookies at Sam's Club and have brochures and answers people's questions and business cards.
And go
very, very simple.
Yeah. And I'll tell you another thing, that there's another area that I think is overlooked is the military. Some of these kids in the service are stationed down in Junction City out there, different places. They've came to my deals, but we were having our survivalist things in Wichita, and they were very excited about the possibility of doing this out there because they're close enough. They're not. I've got people that I know that drive all the way from Wichita, Kansas, which is a 2.5 hour drive to come up here and spend a weekend. Right. And they'll sure come from Junction City. They'll sure come from these, because they got over the base. They've got a place you can put brochures and stuff like that for these young guys to be able to look at.
Right. Well, we can sit here and brainstorm about great ideas and how to sell lots all day long.
Yeah.
But in reality, they're not even having the conversations.
Yeah.
They're not even putting it in the planning.
Yeah.
So
true.
Guess what? Shame on you for not wanting to sell more properties in here, because we all would like our properties to go up and we would like this community to grow. And marketing and advertising should be expected of the POA. Where's your agenda? Take a huge portion of your budget, even if you just set aside $70,000 a year that you're going to do in marketing and advertising, you're going to get a return on that hand over fist. And that's a no-brainer. Yeah. Absolute no-brainer. Anyways, we're running out of time. That's it for segment 2. We appreciate you listening. Thanks for coming on, Jad. We'll have you on again.
Great.
And stay tuned for more on Linn Valley Radio. Thank you for listening to Freedom of Information, and have a good day.
Thank you, Colin. Appreciate it.
No problem.